Here we go. Episode 3, everyone. Oh, it's 4?
What is it?
Episode 3.
4 times. That
Was a reference to how
we have to every single time now.
We filmed 2 episodes the first time, but it was really 1. Number 3.
Number 3?
The number of emphasis.
Whoa.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So
I didn't know you were a guru.
No, I'm not too gooey.
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 So how's life? How's things been? What's going on?
It's good. It's good. I flew to Texas, drove back to Indiana this past weekend with a 15-passenger van for a catch win. So it's pretty exciting.
Sweet. Yeah. So now you don't have to like rent vehicles for your skate tours anymore.
That's right, man. Got a freaking van.
Shout out to Middleman.
Yeah, Middleman, man with the vans. He's got like a bunch of them. He was like, dude, stoked. It's one less vehicle I own now because he's got so freaking many. So
how much you pay for that?
$0.
$3.99.
Yeah,
that's freaking sweet.
Love it.
Yeah,
yeah, that's rad. I have something I wanted to share with you guys.
Oh, great.
A little fun. Oh, what is that?
I'm just kidding.
So something I found very interesting is that my son now he's playing Xbox more and more now. Mm-hmm. I got him started on that. That's been fun. He's 6, you guys know, and he's been really into this Minecraft game. I've never been a Minecrafter, so I don't understand all of it. No more than I want to.
Yeah.
But it's so funny listening to him play, is because now he'll be like, he sits there and he's like, he'll be playing, he'll be doing something, him and his cousin will be playing, and all of a sudden he'll go, yo, did you see that? Just the words that he's using now is so funny because he's never had that like side of the personality of, just the way that he's saying things. And I think I told you guys about this, but like all the words that he's saying now, like we were putting up Christmas decorations out on the front porch because my wife's super into Christmas.
Oh yeah.
And so he was putting up Christmas decorations with me. He was helping me hang some lights and stuff. And when we got done, he was like, yo, Dad, this porch is looking sick. I was like, buddy, you're right. It is looking sick. And it's just funny how it's like,
so
depending on who he's talking to. Because then he talked to Mom later, and he was like, Mom, did you see what me and Dad did on the porch? And I was listening, and she was like, I did, buddy. And he was like, doesn't it look so beautiful? I was like, what happened to sick? Where did sick go?
Just like meeting everyone's needs.
Yeah, like what's going
Lingo.
on? So dude, it just cracked me up, man. Just to hear. And like, so now everything is yo, and it's not like yo, it's like yo.
That's so good.
And then the other day, Marcus FaceTimed me. Shout out Marcus Hernandez. And again, for no reason.
Every episode.
And so he was FaceTiming me, and he was like, Max was like, I want to say hi to Marcus. And then so I flipped the phone over, and Marcus goes, yo, what's up, Max? He's like, what? I was like, he said, yo. And he was like, but nothing happened. Like, he was so confused. I was like, no, yo is like a way of saying, like, hey. Yeah. And he was just like, oh, I didn't know that's what that meant. So anyway, that's what it's like having a 6-year-old. It's pretty fun.
Yeah. Hey, can someone remove that? I could just, it's just inappropriate. I'm sorry to our viewers and our listeners.
Showing right there.
That's
you left a pin in the shot?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Now.
Sorry to everyone that had to see that.
Goodness gracious.
Oh, so.
Thought we were ready.
My weekend consisted of just screaming kids.
Right on.
It was fun. It's all a part of it. Definitely for all you listeners, make sure you name your kids properly. Because if you name your son Hatteras Wild,
mm-hmm.
he's probably going to be wild.
Yeah.
No, but it's good.
But it's with an E, right?
It is.
Yeah. So
that means eventually it'll
mellow out.
It'll. That's what the E means.
Yeah.
Means that I don't know if that's accurate.
I hope it like evens them out. I don't know. We'll see.
Speaking of names, we've picked names for the girls.
Nice.
Oh my goodness.
I don't think I'm allowed to share that information though.
Yeah, done.
I feel like I came up with some good ones the other day. I don't.
Oh, listen. I shared a name with Ashley that she vetoed real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll share that one. So it's a throwback because we're trying to figure out the names for these girls, and Ashley really likes the L sound.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to be start with an L, but she likes the L sound in
Like
in the name.
L.
No, not L, but like.
I don't know.
So as an example, because I have an actual word, not just a noise, was I threw out to her. I was like, well, "What about areola?" Such a beautiful name.
It's a beautiful name, areola. It just rolls off the tongue.
For months, Corey kept trying to convince us that's what he was gonna name. He was gonna name his child if it was a girl. He was gonna name her Areola.
Areola or Thuthi. THU. Thuthi.
Thuthi. Does she have a lisp? No.
No, her name's Thuthi.
Thuthi.
Oh my gosh. The thing is I could see Corey doing that.
For sure.
Just have to convince your wife.
Gosh, man. But yeah. So we got names picked out.
Awesome.
Because you're talking about the importance of names, and we've been going over it for a while, and my wife was like, "Hey, we don't have much time left, and we got to pick these names." And I was like, "Okay, let's do it."
Don't worry. While we were in the hospital, not knowing if it was going to be a boy or a girl, we had it down to 2 boy names, not decided. Mm-hmm. It was kind of thing. It's like, oh, let's look at his face and determine.
Yeah.
And then
swollen little face.
If it was a girl, it's like, sweet, whew, saved the back and forth of like, oh, what's its name? We don't know yet. But we decided Heritage is middle name in the hospital. So nice. Yeah. It was either Honey or Honey Lou.
Right.
So we're just like, yeah, let's just do both.
Why not?
Just nails it, solves it.
Well, we've got the names picked out, but we haven't decided which one's which because we're gonna wait and see who they are first. Yeah. You gotta look at them. You gotta look into their eyes.
Yeah.
That's what Ashley told me. She goes, "I need you to look into their face and decide." I was like, God, that's so much pressure.
Yeah.
but I'm here for it.
You can't take that decision back.
That's what we were talking about. Is because she was like, if her and her sister, she was like, if we were twins, then what if my name could have been swapped?
Yeah.
And I was talking to my mom, and we have a family friend that has twins, and they were saying like that somebody told her like, hey, I think you named your kids wrong.
Oh my God.
And I was like, first of all, how dare you?
Yeah.
Second of all, you should never talk to people again. That's extremely rude.
You should never talk to people.
How dare you? So, but we were thinking about that of like how intense that would be to like, dang, like to like 6 years later be like, it was wrong. We made a mistake. Can't go back now.
Yeah.
What do we do?
I mean, you can go to the courthouse and sorry, you are no longer Chandler. We'll switch you over to Connor.
Yeah. So crazy. Anyway.
That's awesome.
So yeah, that's kind of what's been happening in my household.
Nice. Pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Lots of fun stuff. What else got going on this day?
Well, we do have a bunch going on at the studio. The new spot.
New spot.
Yeah, it's I keep on telling my brother every single time I go over there, it's like, man, dude, like you're making some killer progress. Man, dude, there's still a lot to get done.
Yeah.
And like I'm feeling it because I'm not over there doing it, and it's like I hope it's getting done, but like literally when we go over there and just check on stuff, it's like, holy smokes. Like I actually went over there last night after we even went over there, and he was still he was working, but he actually left. But he basically has that entire ceiling ripped out on that one side, which is
Sweet.
Awesome. So now I just got to get a dump trailer, probably a skid steer in there, because I'm not shoveling that, and I don't want my brother to have to shovel that stuff. It's heavy and
literally cement and plaster
piles.
Right. Well, the cool thing is that we've actually been filming a ton of that.
Yeah.
So most of the initial like demolition stuff we have filmed.
Yep.
We're putting together a little video to show some of that off because we want to show kind of the progress and how all that's taking place, and we want to show you guys.
Yeah.
So
I mean, because I was even telling my wife last night, and she's like, "Man, everyone loves a good like transformation video." It's like, dude, I get stuck all the time clickbait on just like, this house was this, or
Right.
it's just like, all right, I'm gonna watch like, have you seen those ones like that are time lapses?
Oh, yeah.
And it's like a 45 minutes of a time lapse of them like literally buying this house and like craziness. And I'm like, I think I probably watched all of it.
move that bus.
Yeah.
Move that bus. Yeah. No. I'm excited. I'm excited for the. I'm glad we're filming everything so we can look back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Because I think once you're in there for a little bit, like even here, that's something I think that you've experienced before, where you look back and be like, oh man, I can't believe. Like even we filmed videos in here where things have just changed over time.
Yeah.
Where some of the early videos that we filmed, like it doesn't even look like that anymore.
Exactly.
You know, so I think that's I'm really excited that we're gonna have that stuff documented so we can reference back to it and just kind of remember where we started from it. So
It's cool. I'm starting to see the layout a little more, which is awesome. But at the same time, it's still, I mean, we're still trying to figure out, for all you listeners, I think for a while at least, we're going to just keep both locations and rock 2 locations and then kind of determine whether we should put, like a soundproof room over there, but at the same time, I don't know, we have some time and we have some options. So we'll see how it
try
plays
not
out.
to rush it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because more than likely that'll just be full screen printing production, so that Jared and Corey both don't have to deal with lights and sound and audio and all that. So,
Well, I mean, it makes a big difference. I mean, even here, I mean, I think every video that we've done so far has shown how many times we hear sirens or loud trucks or guys on motorcycles that want everybody else to know they're on a motorcycle.
I'm totally one of those guys. For no reason.
But yeah, it's I think it's going to be beneficial at least for a little while, and then we can figure out what's the best fit, what's the best setup. It's going to take some time. Yeah. It's like when you move into a new house or you build a house or something. Like we built our house a couple years ago, and we had to live in it for a while.
Yeah,
which I think it's good to have a plan. And like we talked about, we're going to go in and tape out like where the press is going to be, where the conveyor dryer is going to be, and kind of the layout of stuff and cabinets and all these things. You try to plan, but the reality is I mean, like, how much did this room change after you were in it for a bit? Maybe not the location of the press,
right?
But like where you did certain things, cabinets, those things shifted, and I think having the flexibility to do that is cool. But you just got to live in it a little bit and then realize, I should have put a plug right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Or why did I put that plug behind the couch?
Yeah,
that's a stupid place for it.
True. Even though I had no control of that, but there's like 2 plugins in that entire upstairs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for sure. I think that is going to be a huge benefit for us, just to be like, because like again, you have that new space is about 1,700 square feet, and it's just like, this is 1,200 square feet, but we've only really used half of it for the print shop. And so it's like, but like stuff is tight. It's like, oh, where's your ink mixing station? Oh, it's right next to kind of where it's close. I mean, it's kind of like where I count shirts in. It's just like, man, I just want to have, different sections. And to be honest, I'm just not going to really know. Again, also I'm planning in my head to visit some shops here in the next month-ish. I don't know. We might just take a little road trip. Yeah. I don't know, and go see some shops, maybe even day trips or something like that. Whatever we need to. I need to get a feel.
Yeah. No, I think that's that. There's nothing better than going and seeing it in person and seeing how something's functioning somewhere else.
Yeah, and I told you guys, like, I'm envisioning that space as a manual printer.
Yeah.
At a manual shop.
Yeah.
And I need someone to be like, nope, don't do that. Or
right.
that's a good idea, but you have to think about this.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I just, to be honest, like I still don't know. Like there's just a lot of stuff I don't know. And so I want to talk to some of my homies and just pick their brain on stuff. And my phone was not on silent.
So unprofessional, Jonathan.
Yes.
So unprofessional. But no, I think that's cool. I'm stoked for us to go visit some other shops.
Yeah.
I say us loudly because I think it'd be fun for us to be able to do some road trips.
Sweet guys, I got my plane ticket booked. Fill up my gas tank to go by myself.
That's fine. We'll take care of your family and.
Or me and Corey will go on our own trip.
We should do that, Jared.
Just like go camping or something?
Shut up. You guys.
It's winter.
All right, let's just for the record here, like they get to go out on all these. Oh, I'm going out to Virginia to do photo shoots.
That was one time.
Oregon.
Yeah, we did.
That was another time.
Yeah, that one was cool. That was more of my trip, but yeah, no, that was a fun one.
Oregon was really cool, actually.
Yeah, I got to skateboard.
For those who missed out, what a bummer for them.
We got there's a
video.
How long's our video? It's like a 20-minute long video vlog.
I think the Oregon trip one, it was like a 15, 20 minute maybe something.
Yeah. If you've not seen that, I paint a really cool mural. I do a handful of adequate skateboarding tricks. And I skate Burnside. I believe there's some clips of that.
Which is on Tony Hawk Pro Skater, if you ever played the game but don't know what Burnside is.
I literally had a dream last night about skating Burnside. Literally, I was like in my dream, I'd finally figured out how to actually do proper airs and like go like very high over the cone. Like, oh, I'm just like blasting, going super fast, and I was like, I finally figured it out. So I got to go test that theory to see if I actually know what I'm doing now. I'm just gonna go blast some freaking quarter pipes and see if I can.
If you didn't know, Corey is an absolute diehard skater, and he's
the proper
mediocre.
term. The proper term is skate rat.
Ooh,
That's the highest compliment you can get.
Honor.
My friend Connor, he once called me one, and I was like, "Dang, dude, I've arrived. I'm a skate rat
My whole life I've been trying to attain this level.
of rathood."
Rat. What do you think of a rat in a sewer? Dirty,
Yeah,
Wet.
yeah,
swampy.
that's right.
Freaking swamp butt.
We apologize for Corey
Skate
right now.
rat.
Oh, that's funny. But yeah, Corey does always look for every opportunity to skate. So no matter what trip we're on, he's always. The Virginia trip was actually the first trip that I've ever taken with Corey where he didn't bring a skateboard.
Yeah, and that's the first trip I've gone on in probably 10 years or more. That was like the first time I've not brought a skateboard in that long, and it was because we were literally there for maybe 24 hours.
Yeah, it was a very quick turnaround.
And it was
Had a lot to do.
so much work. But when it sucked because I was scouting out locations via Google Earth. If you're ever looking for photo locations, just use Google Earth and zoom in real close. And I literally, I was like, okay, this one looks cool. And so then I found that location, and then I went on Instagram and typed in that location to see all right, what have people posting of this area?
Yeah.
To see if it looked cool. And it was literally like a DIY skate park.
Nice.
And I was like, dang it, dude. I was like, we can't go there. We can't.
We didn't have time.
It'll hurt my heart too much. I was like, we're going somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's not a good location.
It was a good location, but you had to convince yourself it
Yeah,
wasn't.
it was an okay location.
all right.
We found plenty of good locations.
Yeah, no, it was good. Yeah. So that's kind of a little update on studio, what's been going on with us, all that good stuff. But the big reason people are tuning in today is we picked a winner.
We picked a winner.
For the first Golden Boys initiative.
Yes,
Yep,
we did.
We're going to send them a literal chicken dinner.
Yeah.
That's the prize.
Wow.
Right? That's what we all agreed on. The prize for the
I didn't
the
vote
initiative.
No.
Oh, I must have missed something.
that. Yeah. Didn't get that memo.
Nope.
We're going to get a rotisserie chicken
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
or a rotary chicken.
What is a rotary chicken?
I'll show you later.
Oh my
Gosh.
Yeah, so we picked a winner, and that winner is Boyd Creative.
Boyd.
Andrew's his name, right?
Yeah, Andrew and Chantel. So they're yeah, we've actually been following them for quite a while now. They are huge supporters of us, which that's not the reason why we picked them. It was just it's just one day I seen their little Instagram icon. I'm like, that looks really familiar. And they took some of Corey's digital assets from a screen printer starter pack to help like make some of their logos. And I was like, dang.
Yeah, they did a really good job with them too. I was stoked.
Yeah, and man, their T-shirts too, little skulls. We love skulls over here. Like,
That's like all Corey draws.
yeah.
Definitely like all right, let's start out with the skull and then let's just see where it goes.
See if
It's
we
a good,
jump to
good
something else.
foundational piece.
That's true. You do always start there.
But yeah, so we actually had the privilege, like we were trying to time out like podcast, and we're gonna try to get them on, but just our schedules. You'll be able to tell in this little video we're gonna show here in a minute. Just time is the window is just very short, and so what we did was I was able to talk with Andrew and his wife Chantel on his lunch break.
Yeah.
And we just squeezed in just want to learn a little bit about them and just inform you listeners just how awesome they are. They're killing it. And, you know, that's a big thing about the initiative is, you know, good old Joey inspired us all with that, you know, that grind. And, when you hear their story, you're going to be like, yeah, they're well deserving of this initiative, which thank you all for buying the posters because that made this all happen.
Yeah, seriously.
But instead of like, I know we were going to sell like 20, I did the math, like sell 20 posters for $20. It's $400. That should be a good, you know, good little piece of, you know, money to buy a piece of equipment. And then people started buying our shop shirts and sticker packs and just
Vector packs,
other posters. I was like, let's just send them $500. So we did, and I have proof that we sent it because I I want you to know that
We're not stealing your money.
we're not, and we also we're men of our words, and
I thought you were about to break into the we're manly men, men in tights.
nope, not this time,
That's a good movie though.
Jonathan wears tight tights.
Yeah.
He's still rocking the skinnies.
dude. I mean, I'm a skinny guy.
He's a skinny guy.
We're the skinnies.
Sorry to throw us off track there, but
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
So we thought quite a bit of just like, you know, this initiative is like, hey, let's just like actually buy them a piece of equipment and send it out to them. And, you know, like, and then I really got to thinking, it's like, man, it's not about that necessarily. Like our whole thing is we want to help someone increase efficiency or solve a problem. That's the biggest thing. And usually it's equipment that solves a problem.
Sure.
But in this case, they're in their garage and they don't have a water line. And it's cold where they're at. And
They're up north, right?
yeah, Iowa.
Yeah.
And
Gets a little chilly up there.
Yeah.
and so they're like, we need to run a water line to our garage. And like, that costs money. We're like, sweet. It's like, we trust you. Do it.
Yeah.
Take that money and use it for that.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we already have a contractor coming out and stuff like that. I'm like, see, that's amazing.
Right on.
You know, like it's going to help them out in that way. And I hope it doesn't cost all that money. And I hope, you know, I hope it doesn't cost that amount. And I hope they have some extra to, I don't know, buy some ink or whatever.
Yeah.
But again, with this thing, it's like, we're just the vessels, you know, just trying to take one thing and pass it on to another. And what you do with it is up to you. We're just doing what we feel led to do. So.
Yeah, for sure. So what we're going to do is we actually recorded a little bit of that FaceTime call with that Jonathan had with them, and so we're just going to throw that up there. It's a little snippet. You guys actually had a longer conversation, talked for about an hour, something like that. But we're going to throw that up there so you guys can check that out and just kind of hear a little bit of their story and the reason why we picked them. That's really the main reason is who they are, the hustle and the grind that they're putting in to their own personal print shop and what they're doing to make stuff work for their family. That's the reason why we picked them. And so we just want to let them kind of share a little bit about who they are. And so we're going to put this little clip up.
Yeah. And also, if you're not following them, go follow them on all the socials. And yeah, if you need shirts printed or if you need designs, hit them up.
Yeah, hit them up. Go check it out.
What's up, guys? How are you?
What's up? Good.
Hey.
Look at that shop. Looking good. I'm glad I'm not the only one that has a rug underneath their press. Well, first off, you already know this, but the viewers don't know this. You guys are the winners of the Golden Boys Initiative. We're going to send you guys $500. And those are all proceeds from those sweet skull posters that we were selling. And huge shout out to everyone that bought one of those. You guys are helping these guys out.
We want to say thank you.
Yeah. I kind of know what it's going towards already, which is going to be a water line into the shop. Because we currently have to run the hose outside, and with the weather changing, it's not going to quite work that way. So
it's funny.
We're gonna get a water line.
Yeah, no, awesome. Literally, I know that sounds funny to probably some people listening, but here's the thing. You want to know the reason why I have this current studio is because of the same exact reason. I had my hose, my water line. That was how I washed out screens. How I burnt screens. Yep. And when your hose line is frozen during the winter time, what do?
You know you're an adult when you're excited about like new appliances, but you know you're a shop owner when you're so excited about new equipment that works.
Yeah, no joke. Yeah, I just want you to share, like, just briefly your story.
I work at a screen printing shop during the day, and then I come home and I run my business till about midnight, most Monday through Sunday. So it's crazy. It's just a crazy time, but you got to do what you have to do.
So I encouraged him to launch March of 2020 when the world shut down.
Good time.
Because we knew, good time.
I started with my dad when I was 12 on a press that he built.
Nice.
And I love the art aspect of it, of, pulling or pushing a squeegee.
Yeah.
And taking somebody's design and making it come to life on a piece of fabric or canvas. And sometimes you have to work multiple jobs to support your family.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I got to work this to take care of my family, and then I'm going to grind when I get home to we talk a lot about building a legacy, for our families and building a future, and I still just believe that, like, man, screen printers, like, we're a different breed. Like, that's all you, like, legitimately, the fact that you're working your daytime job and then coming home and grinding that many hours, that many days, whew, my hat's off to you, man. I'm glad you guys were the first, winners of the initiative. We hope and wish nothing but the best for you guys and your business. So,
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. We hope to do what you've done and be able to turn around, and that's why we launched, because our friends who had businesses were struggling to market, and we knew we could provide them with a service that would help them market their business, and that's why we do it every day. Is because we know, like, we're competitive and we're priced right, but it's a good quality product, and they like working with us, and we love our customers, and so the more we scale, we want to give back too. So thanks for starting the initiative.
I just got done talking to the Boyds. They are awesome, awesome people. Just to bring some clarity of why we chose them is, as I got to know Andrew, I got to find out that he is working 2 full-time jobs. He works at a print shop, then comes home and prints all night, all day, every day, 7 days a week. And that's because it's to take care of his family. He's what they didn't want to share is that his wife actually has an illness that she's been fighting for quite a while. They're good. They're making it through. However, he's just working the grind to take care of his family. And so we saw that no better people should the initiative go to just to help them get ahead just a little more. So thank you guys so much again for your help with the initiative. Go send them some love.
Right on. Well, that just shows you a little bit about, you know, what they're about, who they are, their story. I mean, it's crazy, the stuff they're going through and the work they're putting in. I mean, I feel really, really privileged to be able to be a part of that. We want to say thank you, seriously, so much. Thank you for everybody who bought something, whether it was one of the posters, whether it was, you know, a shirt, anything like that. We ended up just sending them a chunk of that money. That came through, like it wasn't even all just the posters. It was like all the other stuff. We were like, let's just send them as much as we can, because we wanted to help them out, and you guys were a part of that. This would not be possible without all of you guys. So that means the world to us. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And also, just another thing to touch base at, like we started this initiative like a month ago ish. I mean, we've got this is episode 3, like. Literally, we hit the initiative within 4 weeks time. This is our first time ever doing anything like that. And I'll just tell you this, because I don't care. Like we sent them $500. We had had $0 in the PayPal, did the initiative, and there was like $800 in the initiative, like in a month's time. Like, it's just like, man, it's so awesome to see other shops are just like, we just want to be a part. And you got that, like, I'm excited about the next one, because it's like, man, like, what if we're like, we get to that point where it's like, all right, new initiative's up, and like we literally just hit the initiative like days in, you know, like it's like, then we're going to be able to do more faster, and who knows, we might take the quarterly initiatives to every month, you know, like
whatever it needs to be.
Yeah.
You know, I one thing that's really cool is that on top of the initiative and the collabs and stuff that we're talking about doing, because that's the main thing with the initiatives, is we want to collab with other shops or artists. So we collabed with Jeremy Stout on the first one, and the next one it's already in the works. We're planning it. We're figuring it out. We're not going to reveal any of that yet because we're trying to get all the details set. But we're already working on the next one, and it's going to be a really fun one. But in the meantime, we've been hit up so much. There's so many people that have been, hey, I've got a heat press. We've got so many people that have flash dryers that they said that they want to donate to the initiative. Say, give it away. How do I give it away?
Washout booth.
A washout booth. We had somebody who's got like a cut and sew factory. And he's got I got sewing machines. Anybody want a sewing machine?
Portable sewing machines that he's like, let's just get these to some of these shops that are doing the brand thing. It's like, doing this, you know, the sewing on tags and all that. It's like, man, that is so cool. He's like, let us know. It's like,
so I mean, those, like, we have multiple artists that have sent us things saying like, hey, I want to help out. I want to be a part. I want to give a design away. It's like that. It just is never ending. I mean, we told you we got somebody wanting to give away a bunch of camera equipment. You know, it's just, we're just blown away by the community's response. To want to give, want to be a part. It's wild. You guys are crazy.
Yeah, no joke. And and so what we talked about, the Golden Boys, we talked about how to best direct if you want to help out. And so obviously the main initiative is, you know, hey, we're gonna create something here in the studio, whether it's a t-shirt, poster, whatever. We're going to sell it, take 100% of those proceeds and give either the money, buy a piece of equipment, whatever. But then we've had all these people hit us up, and it's like, how do we track all that? And so we want to let you know, if you're listening to this, if you want to help out with a piece of equipment, a design, whatever, please send us an email. We'll put the email on the screen. The Golden Boys Podcast at gmail.com, so that we can consolidate and make sure that we don't skip over all this, because the response has been crazy, and we don't want to lose the DM or the email or whatever. Like we want it all to be in one spot so we can go through and get some other equipment out to some shops, and just, man, it's going to make a big difference.
Yeah, and that's the big thing is being able to our goal, like you said the word vessel earlier, you know, and that's the thing, is we just want to be like like a conduit, right? Of like, we want to help stuff. If you have something you're not using and you want to give it away, then contact us and we'll figure out how to get it to somebody.
Yep.
If you want to do it on your own and you want to just say like, hey, like Black Print Ink did. And he's like, I got a flash. I'm gonna find somebody who needs it. Somebody in my local area. And he went and was like, I'm gonna do all that on my own. Like, do it, man.
Just tag us.
Yeah.
Because we want to see it, you know? Like,
yeah, we're just stoked that people want to be involved in that. And so like, just hit us up and tag us and say like, yeah, you know, like, I don't even know what you'd tag it with, but just
hashtag Golden Boys Initiative or something.
Yeah.
Yep. And then, you know, also let's, you know, like we, you know, we know that like, hey, you might have a piece of equipment, but finances might be tight, you know, for you to even be able to ship that out to somebody. And like, we don't want to waste money of like, you ship it out to us and then we ship it out to someone else. And so a big part of this initiative, and like when you guys buy like our shirts and when you buy our vector packs and when you buy all that stuff, it really does. Like, we very rarely take any of that. It just kind of helps flow stuff around here. But we want to, no joke, if you clean up the PC equipment, because that's pretty nice of you to
wipe it down,
wipe the dust off, you know, like, and box it up. You you send us a message and we'll get the measurements and we'll literally send you over a prepaid, you know, pack or stamp,
shipping
label. And we'll just email it to you, tape it on there and send it out. And so, so that's another way we want to help you. If you have something, don't be afraid to give something. If the finances are low, like, just hit us up.
Yeah. Cause we just want to give. We want to help be a part of that. That's giving back. And we want you to be a part of that too. So jump in, get involved.
Heck yeah.
Make a difference.
Yeah. Send us some emails.
Right on. You have so we always ask questions.
Yeah.
And we always get questions, but you have a specific question you wanted to focus on today.
Yeah. So what we were just talking about, it's like, you know, we're trying to bring value to this podcast. We want you guys to listen, not just hear us ramble, you know, like, but like, it was actually one of these random questions. Like, you kind of skip over. It's like, oh, you know, that's an obvious one. And then you really think about it. It's like, oh, why don't we just have that be the topic of like, you know, this podcast, which it's funny. It's funny kind of how he asked, but I like it how he asked. But literally the question is how not to go out of business. I was like, yeah, I mean, the simple is like, work, you know, like do stuff, you know, like, but then we got to thinking about it and it's like, wow, that really opens up a lot of doors, especially for us and for our situation. And so, like we wanted to just elaborate on that, how the Golden Boys, how Golden Press, how we operate and how we answer this question.
Yeah. Cause I think every business faces this question. Every business faces this opposition of like, how do I make it today?
Yeah.
How do I not, you know, I don't want to lose my business. I want to, in simple terms, I mean, something that we talk about and something that we value here is diversification, like diversifying income streams. If you're solely reliant on one source of income, one thing, that's setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah. And especially in a world that we live in today, it's ever changing. Mm-hmm. There's, you know, it's like even within your business, even if you have, you know, legitimate clientele and people that always are going to come back to you in all these different diverse fields, different seasons, it just changes, you know, like you can't expect this next season to be like the last season. And so there's just all these, you know, just there's potential for always complications. And so for us, you know, a lot of people, like, it's funny how I explain like what we do to people on a regular basis. Like I actually even had my old boss give me a call and he's like, you know, cause he's a business guy and he's a numbers guy. And he's like, you know, like I can have a conversation with him. And if I say anything that it's like, that's taken up a lot of your time. How much money are you making? Like off of that thing you're doing? And if I can't like, you know, like if it's, oh, well, it's really fun.
Yeah.
It's like, cut it. Like it's that, you know, it's sucking the life out of your business. But us three, we've been in it, you know, and we know our master plan of it all, and we're just building at it. And what that is, you know, we're not just a print shop. We do so many different services really that we don't even highlight to some degree. Like we have our main ones, but like there's just so much, just tiny things that we do to make all these other things happen. And that's the reason why we're at where we're at, is because we have all these different, you know, streams of revenue. And it's not like, oh, you know, I'll just be honest, like printing is not like, oh, this is the one that just, it's steady. And it's just, all we do is print, you know, we print shirts and then, oh, we got all these other.
It has its cycles.
Yeah. It's literally, you know, just a prime example of like when COVID hit, like our shirt orders were still like just, I don't know, pretty decent still, you know, like, and this was before like inventory shortages and all that. And like shirts were still pretty good, you know, like for the first year. But here's the thing, like shirts weren't like paying the bills that month, you know, or that first year. Like it was video. We did so much video the year of COVID, because it was like, hey, we're going to trap ourselves in these four walls and create stuff for us, for other companies. And that was a huge revenue stream.
Yeah, when the world shut down, it created a really tricky scenario, you know, and so for us to be able to do some of these other things that didn't involve printing, because there was a lot of your bigger, you know, companies or organizations that need shirts, or
well, there was like, oh, like churches, like they're not doing events anymore. Like there was multiple businesses and churches and companies that we work with that were just like, well, we were gonna do a big order for this, but now we can't do an event to give these shirts out, so we're gonna have to back off on that.
One of our big printing, you know, one of the big things we used to print, we still print a lot for, but like especially them, was like with your connections to a lot of the people that you know through music, doing a lot of bands. Well, bands weren't touring, they weren't traveling, the
tours are being canceled,
you know, left and right, and so these bands are out a tons of money, you know, and are they going to sell merch online? Like, maybe for the bigger guys, but for a touring band, a smaller touring band that's just trying to get their name out there, like, they live off merch.
Half those guys don't even have a website.
True.
but that's
which leads us to our
and it's like, oh, I'm out of work, and so I have limited funds. I'm gonna go. Oh, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go buy a band tee today.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and so 2020 was a weird time, you know, for all businesses in general.
Right.
And then so, you know, whenever we had that, like, we just had to switch up what we were doing.
Yep.
And we had to focus in on some other areas. And luckily we had some of that stuff set in place ahead of time.
We did.
Where we were already trying to do some of these things, and we were diversifying. You footsying down there or what?
Yeah, dude, I'm like, how is this? I'm like literally just sitting normal, and I'm like touching his feet. Like, goodness, it must be like the
Corey
longest
likes
legs.
me, guys, just so you know.
Yeah.
Rubbing on each other. But I mean, I think that we got lucky in that time frame where we already had some things set, where we started to diversify a little earlier than other people that were trying to. When like shutdowns happened and stuff like that, people that were doing one thing and that one thing gets taken away.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Yeah. I mean, I started diversifying when I hired you. Mm-hmm. Corey, of course, he was doing like, you know, it was just went from design to photos, but really we weren't doing photos for other people or anything. No. But soon as, you know, Jared came on, we were like, let's sell all of this. And it's funny. Like I look back and like, man, that was it was such an easy decision for me. Like, yep, I want video. I want to be able to offer video. I want to be able to offer this whole branding, like be able to do all these different things. And yeah, I'm glad I did it. it took us, it was funny. It took us about 6 months, I would say. And then we really started landing the clientele for all of those services.
Yeah.
To where it's like you said, we're pretty lucky just to hit that before everything hit. So we were already, it's like, yeah, we need to not solely rely on one service.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I think a good way to like to start planning out like diversification, to like how to diversify your business is like, okay, like what skills do I have? What do I have already? And how can I kind of expand that? You know, when I first came on with Golden Press, I was doing t-shirt designs. You know, that's what the clientele, you know, wanted from Jonathan. And so just like t-shirt design, there we go. But I was like, hey, I've done branding and logo work for other clients, you know, in the past.
Yeah.
And then we started like pointing our clients to, oh, hey, like, oh, you're looking to start a clothing brand. Yeah. And so you want a t-shirt design. And then we ask them, well, do you have a logo? And they're like, well, we don't have a logo either. And so it's like, okay, like, so, you know, if you're a designer working in a shop, like, are you doing brand work? Are you doing logo work? Like, and the reality is like, you can charge a higher price for a logo work because it's a lot more valuable than a t-shirt design. You know, t-shirt design, they come and go. A lot of times people don't put as much thought or like emphasis on it. Right. But a logo, you know, that's something that's going to like literally like, hey, this is a big deal. This is going to represent your brand for, you know, the next 20 years. This is going to, you know, be everyone's very first impression of you. And so, you know, you can charge a higher price for a logo and be like, oh, cool. And also,
you should be.
Yeah, you should be.
You should be charging a higher price for logo work.
Yeah, and like, also you're giving them more than just a logo. If you're doing a branding package, you're giving them multiple logo elements, multiple different stuff. And so it's a lot more than just oh yeah, I drew this like little skull with like a flaming skull for your t-shirt. Like, that's cool. That's not your logo though, unless it is. That could be a cool logo maybe. But
there's probably a larger package that goes with that too though.
Yeah.
With logo stuff, but
giving them, you know, brand colors, brand, you know, monograms, all these different things. Like, so it's like, you know, diversifying yourself from just, our designer, he only does t-shirt designs. Right. He only grabs, you know, some vector packs, throws them together and gives you your little football design.
Right. And speaking of that, I mean, that we could go really deep with this. You know, there's a lot of layers of the onion we can peel back when we start talking about diversifying revenue streams. It's like, okay, let's even just look at it from just the graphic design point of view. Just from that perspective, you have t-shirt designs and then logos and branding. Yeah. And so like that, those are two separate things. And then on top of that, then it's like, okay, now you started branching out. It's like, oh, I'm going to start making some fonts.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to start doing, you know, other like vector designs and stuff like that. So
creating digital assets, you know, like if you're a skilled designer, like, man, really, this is my game plan when I make digital assets. Really, it's like, I think of what do I use every day, or like what type of things do I consistently go back to? What do I need in my arsenal right now? And I've just always been the kind of person where I just want it specific and unique to myself. I just want it mine. I want my way to do it. And so like, it's like, man, sure, I could go through defont.com or something and like scroll for like 10 hours and like, you know, maybe find a cool font that's close to what I'm looking for. Or I could spend like a couple hours like drawing out letters and drawing out exactly what I want. And we paid like a one-time purchase for like a $50 program. That's like a plugin in Illustrator to like create this, to turn it into an actual font. Yeah. I think it's called Font Self.
Yeah, I think that sounds right.
Yeah. If you're wondering what that is, it's Font Self. But
we'll link it in the description.
Yeah, you better. but it's like, and then cool. Now I have my own font, and it's like, well, the rest of the world should be able to use this. So let's, you know, throw it up for $1 or throw it up for $5 and you know, continue to just like the same with my like Procreate brushes. I was like, man, I want a brush that looks like a Sharpie pen, or I want a brush that like feels like a Micron pen drawing on paper or whatever. And I didn't know where to find them. I looked around for certain ones, but I was like, I could just make my own. Or I don't want to draw a freaking 1,000 little dots. I'm just gonna make a stipple brush. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna make a stipple brush, and now I have a cool brush.
Because you wanted that style of shading.
Yeah. And now I can sell it. And now there's this new, and what's really cool about digital assets is that it's completely like after you do the upfront work, it's passive income.
Yep.
You know, when you start making that stuff and like put it out in the world, dude, like it can be literally 20 years from now, I can be still making money off of these brushes and things like that. And, you know, it may not always be like, whoa, top dollar, like you're bringing in tons of money, but it's like, oh, sick. Last night when I was asleep, I made $25.
Yeah.
Like,
and the big thing with that is that it's not about making $1 million off of digital assets. It's about the fact that like half the reason you make some of this fonts are because it's like, hey, we want a hand-drawn feel on a lot of our stuff.
Yeah.
It's just kind of something that's been really synonymous with our brand and who we are is we like that hand-drawn feel.
Yeah.
And so whenever I'm making a video and I have something that I want, you know, I want to put words on the screen or something, it's like I want it in that hand-drawn feel to match the rest of our aesthetic.
Yep.
And so, hey, Corey, stop what you're doing. Hand draw something on the iPad, do it, save it as a PNG, send it over to me for all these specific little funny joke words that I want to put in this video.
Yeah.
Or make a font one time, and then I can use it anytime I want. And so like half the stuff we make is out of necessity for what we do.
Yeah.
And then being able to sell it is like the bonus. It's the cherry on top. It's the extra.
Yeah, because like, so my aspect or how I look at this is I don't know how many times like Corey's like, man, I really want to work on this design. I want to do this. It's just like, yep, I looked for brushes, can't find anything. And he literally just stops, you know, doing like the paid design and creates his own brushes because it's like, I envision it. You know, I know what I want it to look like. But the thing that I am always like, one, he's gotten a lot faster. Yeah. So that's always awesome. But like the thing that a lot of people don't think about is when you diversify, you also have to go into straight. I'm learning mode. Like, dude, like I remember when you first, like your first font, how long did it take for you to do the plug-in with Illustrator and figure all that out? And this, like, it took time, like a lot of time. And then you're like, I remember when you're like, it was like beta prototype, like, I think I figured out how to do brushes. Like, and we're like, I was like, really? And I was like, sweet, man. Like, just kind of playing. He's like, hey, I just finished my first brush set. And I'm like, wait, you did? Like, it was always like this, like, holy crap, you learned how to do that?
Yeah. So he was trying to figure out how to like to create the settings and all that stuff. And
which I still like, I still feel like I don't fully know. Every brush is always different. It's like I start a set, and then like once you like figure out like the foundation of it, you're like, okay, now I can like kind of duplicate this and repeat it, and then switch out these specific things to create it its own way. But yeah, I feel like I'm still like learning. Yeah. But
that's a great place to be.
Yeah,
that keeps you always on your toes. It's neuroplasticity is what it's called. It's the ability to keep your brain always learning. Yeah, always learning new stuff.
The old plastic brain. Yeah.
No, but like that's again, like that's that thing to where I know people think we do really cool stuff over here, right? Like people really let us know and really encourage us of like the stuff we're making is just top notch. But like, I just want everyone to know, is it the amount of time we've just like, yep, we're not making money. We're literally investing into us, into the company, into digital assets. It's like, like, you know, it took Corey X amount of days to be able to, you know, create this. And it's like, well, we didn't have any other form. It's that investment of like, man, like that $25, it's like, well, if we sell 8 of those, it's like, okay, that probably covered your time. And guess what? We've already sold 8 of them now, you know, like, and it's that investment into the future stuff that
putting that work in ahead of time.
Yeah.
And it's putting that work in up on the front end so that you can see the rewards for it later on. Right. And that's really that's the goal of passive income. Yeah. You know, I don't know. I think when we're talking about this whole stuff about diversifying, like, I think it's important to know, like, it depends on how deep you want to go into that, you know, because you can get super, like, layered. And we were even just talking about this yesterday, I think, but we were talking about, like, printing. Like, there's so many layers to printing.
Yeah.
As far as, like, diversifying what you're printing and the clients you're reaching out to and the style of prints you're doing. If you only do one color vintage prints, and then the market no longer wants one color vintage prints, you gotta adapt, you gotta change, you gotta do something different, you know. So like putting new things in your arsenal, always learning, getting better, like that's important.
Yeah. And you know, like it's, you know, a lot of people, like, here's the thing, we're at this place where I don't care if, are you a school, are you a restaurant, are you whatever, like we will print your shirts. Because again, it's like, we're just not at that place where it's like, oh, hey, I mean, we kind of are pick and choose, but at the same time, if your logo is just like, it's not the coolest thing we want to take a photo of to put on our feed, just being honest, guess what? We'll still print your shirts. It's just going to be behind the scenes and we're not going to highlight it and all this. But we figured out very quickly of, man, we have this kind of secret weapon of like how to get the people we want to work with. Is one, we're going to post, you know, obviously we love the stuff that Corey creates. And so we post that on our feed as much as possible to get those people like, man, that was a really sick design. I have a similar design I want you guys to print. It's like, send it over. We print that, we highlight it and all this. But the things that we started in the printing realm with adding Jared and then really getting heavy into photos was we really need to highlight, or we really need to get more bands.
Yeah.
Because so this is our lowdown on a brand coming, or a band coming to us, is like, yeah, I got these, you know, these 5 different designs. We're about to go out on this new tour, need all these printed. We'd also like to sell them on our website. We'd also like to, you know, like have some like photos to like kind of promote the new merch designs, mock-ups, all that. It's like, we can do all of that.
Yeah.
And it's like, sweet. Yeah. So we're going to make money off of t-shirts. They're going to send those t-shirts. And then they're like, hey, we need e-commerce. It's like, oh, sweet. I'm going to pass this off to Corey.
Yeah.
Corey's going to do e-commerce, lifestyle.
Yeah. Well, the e-commerce that, I mean, I think where we're at now, almost every brand, maybe like there's a couple, but like actual like clothing brand that's putting out different lines of clothing like every couple months. Like we've got them at a place where it's like we print the stuff and then they're like, and we want e-commerce photos. Yep. You know, that's like, it's really not that challenging. We have one video about it. I'm actually planning on filming another video about how to take e-commerce photos because I've just improved my process nowadays. But that's not that hard to do. Yeah. If you have like the equipment, you know, if you make an investment in a few things, and it's really simple to like just incorporate that. Like, oh yeah, we printed the shirts. We have a freshly good printed shirt. Lay it out, take the e-commerce photos, and you know that just made us some extra money, and where we would have just shipped the shirt out and been done with the order, but now we just made a little extra off of that order, you know, to continue to help us stay in business. You know,
exactly. And like, yeah, like I was talking about bands, and then you shifted to actual brands, which brands are like, that's where we're at. Like that's like, if you're a brand and you're listening, you want like shirts printed, you photos, the whole nine, like we want to work with you because we've like, brands are such a hard thing. Corey's got a brand. I've had a few brands in my day. But it's like how are you going to get people to buy your stuff? You know, it's like, okay, first off, you need to have attractive designs, something that's like, and know your niche of like, yeah, I want to do traditional tattoo designs because I want people with traditional tattoos to be like, yep, that design's sick.
Yeah, I'm going to buy that shirt.
And so it's like, have a good design. And then it's just like, how are you going to promote that? Social media. And so it's like, sweet. Well, we're going to take really good photos of that shirt we printed. And then, you know, for the longest time, and we still do, we give free photos to, you know, like people, well, not really free, because like we're advertising our services also, you know, when we put them in our feed and stuff like that. It's like we printed that.
Stones.
Yeah.
Or one stone, two birds.
Yeah,
That's what we're talking about.
I usually say like 5 birds now. Like,
Yeah,
like,
we're trying to smoke all the birds.
it's just because they're really drones, you know?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, but we need a close-up shot.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
There we go. Yeah. This way. There we go.
Birds are.
Right there.
If you didn't know, Corey doesn't believe birds are real. He thinks they're government drones.
I mean, it's common knowledge.
But yeah, I think that's the cool thing of we found where we want to be,
Yeah.
and that's the work that we post.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the work that we put out there. Now we'll print your high school with your animal mascot on it, with your gray shirt with your one color ink, and like there's nothing wrong with it. You gotta sell those, and there's a bigger jobs, and like print those all day, do those for sure.
Yeah.
But it's probably not going to live on our feed because
We're not gonna like do it like, hey, someone throw this on and model this, or like, hey, let's get some like sick flat lays going. Like, probably not.
I know for a fact you don't go to Franklin High School.
Yeah, that's the thing is like we put the work out there that we want to do, and that's always a recommendation is put out what you want to create more of.
Yeah.
Always.
No, I was literally talking with a guy over the past couple of days. He's just been messaging me, and he was asking about design stuff and like, oh, how do I get more design work? And I was like, bro, I mean, like my number one way has always been through Instagram. Of like, a lot of it's just designs that I thought were cool. No one paid me to make those designs. I just designed something that I liked, and I put it on my Instagram, and it's up there living. And, some people are like, well, what if someone steals your design or copyrights it or like copies it or something? I'm like, whatever, I'm going to make another design like in a week. Yeah. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Yeah.
You're not some world famous artist yet.
Yeah.
Nobody's trying
and
to
if it gets
stuff.
to that point, then I'll send them a message and say, hey, buddy,
my lawyer is going to send you an email.
Yeah.
and we've had to do that a couple of times with some of our videos and some of our photos where people are using, and really like the main thing is like, we'll send messages, be like, hey, we didn't give you permission to use those photos. That took a lot of time for us to create. Yeah. Or usually it's when they're using a video, a section of a video or photos to promote a product that's not something we're promoting or something we're connected with at all or anything. They use some cheap, like, I don't know, somebody they stole a snippet of a video with a laser and trying to sell some other like laser on Amazon, which is not the laser we're using. We're like, whoa, hold on. Yeah. And we had to send a fun little email over, but
always stick Jared on those, right?
Yeah.
Good at that.
Right,
he's really good with words.
Hey, my lawyer will be contacting you soon.
Yes.
But the thing is like, you got to put out what you want to create more of. Especially in the beginning, like you were saying, like you did so much free design work, but you put it out on your personal Instagram, but that built up a ton of traction for you to where you've done some designs for some big name people.
Yeah.
Not to like name drop a bunch of stuff, but like some bigger name people, some artists that have quite a following. You've done some international work and stuff because of it, where you've been
no, that's like a really cool thing about social media, like a way to reach past yourself. That I literally not too long ago did some album artwork for someone in Europe, and like there's no way I could have ever done a job for someone in Europe, in Indiana. But because of social media and, they saw my style, they liked what I did. And I was like, cool. Yeah, man, we can do some stuff, that style for you and do it together. And like, cool. And so it was like, reaching past yourself, reaching into a new realm of clientele because of social media,
Yeah. I tell Corey this like all the time. Like I get like the PayPal like notifications every time someone buys something on our, website, and whether it's a t-shirt or whatever. And or even like downloading our free stuff. Yeah. I look at the PayPal, like I read the description, I see where this person's at, and it blows my mind. It's like we've, just all over the world.
Yeah.
Like Corey's designs are all over the world. And we, you know, that's us trying to diversify and just be like, hey, we're like, this might not work for people here in the States that like this, but man, and another, you know, they just really like this. And like, we're opening the doors up to letting anybody and everybody have access to what we create.
And if you didn't know, there's a section on our website shop called Freebirds.
Yeah.
That has some free stuff in there.
Yeah.
I think there's some Procreate brushes. Maybe
maybe not.
there was a Procreate. Anyway, there's some free stuff in there. There's some free vectors. There's some free stuff. Yeah. I don't remember all of them. Freebirds.
Yeah. But yeah, like that's what you know, like we were talking about. You know, we've been diversifying our different works. Like we've been diversifying our clientele as well.
Yeah.
You know, not just sticking with I can only find people in my area. You know, if I mean, even diversifying screen printing work, we print for a lot of brands that are in California, which it blows our mind because it was like, there's printers everywhere. But
there's really good printers in California. I could send you a link to some,
but they're like, no, we want to go with you guys because of social media, because they found us through that thing, and that we're able to not be stuck in just our area, but we're able to diversify our clients and through social media, through the internet, and reach a little further to all over.
Yeah. Well, whenever you're posting, you know, a lot of people use social media now. And that's constantly what we're always telling people: utilize it. It's free. Get it out there. Post your work. Put it out online. But if all you're doing is, you know, you like we use the sports, you know, the sport animal logo for their local high school as an example. And if that's the only jobs you're getting, and you're like, well, I just need to promote anything, it's like, yeah, I understand that, and you got to do that stuff and use those jobs to build up some money, and then take the risk of what everybody has to do when they advertise. You have to take a risk. Advertising is always a gamble.
Yeah.
So take the risk, buy a run of shirts, and create a cool design of something that you want to do more of.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, no, I want to do 3-color water-based, super sick, like skull with like, you know, I don't know, something else. Yeah. I'm not a designer.
Skull.
But I just said skull because Corey said that's where you start with everything.
Yeah.
But
it's the foundation of every design.
but you know, it's do that, take that risk, run of shirts, offer them up to people, sell them, or freaking go hand them out.
Yeah.
Go give them to your local businesses and stuff. Say, hey, I printed this. Yeah. I don't just print 1-color vintage, you know, bulldogs.
Yeah. So true.
You know what I mean? Like
No.
you gotta make what you want to make more of.
Yeah. And also a thing that we do, like, so in the last 5 years, just within printing and then having Jared on just within video and photos and design, what a lot of people probably don't know is we've done a lot of free stuff.
Yeah.
More than we'd like to.
I know. I often ask, is the client paying for this one, Jonathan? And he's like, this one they're not, but like they're going to.
Yeah. Well, it's also, it's kind of this thing to where, like, again, it's like, you know, we're trying to convince people that we're the best, you know, hey, we can give you top of the line stuff. And some people just need to get it to see if we're backing up our word.
I mean, taste the glory.
Listen, there's a reason why some of those restaurants hand out that free sample, you know, when you're walking through the mall. Which I haven't been to a mall in a long time, but I just always remember
that teriyaki chicken, man.
They always handing out those samples. We're like, yeah, I'm gonna walk by 3 more times,
and I'm gonna get that teriyaki chicken later when I am ready to eat a meal, because I'm like, well,
it was good.
It's good teriyaki chicken from the mall.
Know, and that's always like you have to assess within your business of like, okay, yeah, we're not making money on this right now. We're going to give this away for free. And yeah, we're losing money on the front end. Sure. But if giving this thing away, giving this free item or extremely deep discounted item, you know, because we do that stuff too, where we're like, all right, I want to work with you.
Yeah.
I understand your budget's not where we're normally at.
Yeah.
But for this time, let me show you the quality that we can produce. I'm not going to make you, you know, this video or print these shirts, and I'm not going to do it at a lower quality because you have a lower budget. We're going to do it at our normal quality, our normal, output and stuff. And then the goal is to show like, okay, this is what you can get.
Yep.
And if they want to work with you, they'll find the budget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll find it. Or if they're just not there, they're just not there.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But that's where that risk is. And you have to weigh that as a business sometimes and say, yeah, I'm willing to take a hit up front because that's going to be a client that we're going to have for the next 15 years.
And also, again, that's the client I want. So it's
Exactly.
like there's a part of it's like I want to work with you. Like I know you hit me up to work with me, but like I want to work with you. And so because I want to attract more customers like you, and you might not have this massive budget, but your other buddy that has a similar company does.
So let's meet in the middle.
Yeah, let's like, yeah, we're going to do some stuff for you, but obviously you're going to be posting all the stuff that we do for you. And again, all it takes is one person to come across, like with social media, literally all it takes is one person with a bigger influence, a bigger company to see you.
Yeah.
Scroll over a photo. Yep. These guys. And then we get a DM and it can totally shift our business.
Yeah.
And so again, yeah, it's risk. And yes, we've made a lot of sacrifices. Yeah. Again, like I was saying earlier, it's just like the amount of time Corey's learned stuff, the amount of time that Jared's like, hey man, like I've just had a rough video editing day. Like there's just, man, I'm just going to go buy this course, or I'm going to go look at this. I'm just going to do some research.
I just bought another course.
Yeah.
Another one from another one that you just recently, or just?
I was just saying, like I hadn't told. I recently just bought a course. Me and Lee were talking about it. We both got it. It's from Casey Neistat. The guy's a freaking genius on storytelling. He's the godfather and king of storytelling on YouTube and stuff. And like, I know that, like, me and Lee were joking about this, is that especially when he was making all of his I probably know more about cameras than he does.
Yeah.
But that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He's still better at some of these other things than me. And so it's like, I'm a fool if I don't want to learn. Right. I mean, that's, if you're not willing to learn, you're a fool. And so like, I'm always trying to like find, okay, what's the next, how many times do we watch YouTube videos on this tutorial on something, some filmmaking technique or some photo thing, where it's like, I know everything they said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a 15-minute video and I know everything they talked about, except for this one little thing. Yeah. They had this one little tip in there that I was like, oh, okay, that was kind of cool. Yeah. I'm going to try that. And it's, for me, worth the time.
Yeah. What was the thing that the other day you're like, why can I not remember to do this? And then he just, I'm going to click over this video and watches this whole segment.
It's the same freaking video as a guy named Cody Warner. He's awesome.
Cody?
He's out in Pennsylvania, and he does like a bunch of vlog, type stuff. And he had a production company, but he drops these little 2-minute tutorial videos, which everybody on YouTube says, don't make 2-minute videos. I freaking love him. Yeah. Because he's like, okay, this is what I'm gonna show you right here. And he does it really quick. He's like, that's what it was. All right, have a good day. And then like, I love it, dude. It's so good. But yeah, it's just a little editing trick to end a song when the song's not actually ending.
Nice.
And so it's kind of hard to explain, but it's like it reverbs out and does like this little like boom.
Yeah.
And without having to add in like a drop bass, or anything like that. You take like the hit that's already in the song and you it's hard to explain, but you extend it into all this stuff. But it's like,
I get it.
There's one little shortcut that I'm like, I always forget where I need to put the cursor and then do the shortcut. Yeah. I'm like, so I just go search his video real quick. I watch it. I'm like, that's right. I'm an idiot. I knew that.
But again, we spend so much time learning and trying to help us better diversify everything we're doing,
Yeah, that's something I'm really grateful that, where we work, like Jonathan allows Jared and I to experiment with things, and he allows us to fail at things, and he allows us to take a little longer than what we would have liked to take on something to figure out how to do it the best, so that, down the road when a client hires us to take product photos, I'm able to knock that out with premium quality and do a great job.
Quickly.
Literally what started product photos was, Catch Wind. I want Catch Wind shirts to look like I want it to be the actual fabric. I don't want it just to be a digital mock-up.
Right.
You know, and I do that still for people. I'll throw them a digital mock-up for free just to show them this is what your shirt would look like on this shirt. Like when we're figuring out the design aspect.
Yeah.
But then it's like, hey, we printed the shirt, the design's on it. This is your actual shirt and a photograph of it, the real thing, the real fabric, the real color.
Sewn
this is
on
with
tag.
Yeah, sewn on tag. You got the neck tag. You got, you know, all that stuff. And so then it's like, cool. And it all started with Jonathan allowing me to go take some photos for Catch Wind shirts. And, you know, oh, hey, I think we need to buy some white paper. And Jonathan's like, okay, we'll buy the white paper, whatever. No big deal. You know, and, you know, doing these things that has now turned into another
revenue stream.
Another revenue stream.
That makes good money.
Yeah.
You know,
It really has.
Yeah. And there's nothing, you know, there's anytime you're trying to learn something new, there's going to be time on the front end, and you're always going to have that. Anytime. So when we're talking about this whole like diversifying and trying to expand into something new, like just be prepared.
Yeah.
You're going to have time invested. That's going to be the most expensive part of this is your time.
Yeah.
You might need to invest some money, like pay for a course, man. If you're not paying for like educational courses and stuff, I mean, find all the free ones you can, but like, there's nothing wrong with investing back into education, but time is going to be the most expensive part of it. And you have to be willing to sacrifice some of that time and invest that time in there to learn something new and to create another revenue stream. But the point of that is so that you can have other options whenever something goes south.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever something bad happens, when the world shuts down unexpectedly and we don't know how long it's going to last, you have other options. And you have other ways to make money, and that, I hate the term, but like passive income that you can be making money while you sleep.
Yeah. And it's not even that like the whole world shuts down. The reality is there's just times where business is a little slower.
Absolutely.
You know, there's times where it's like, man, I don't know why, but shirt orders just aren't coming in as much. Or I don't know why designs, like I finished all my design work and no one wants any more designs right now.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Well, good thing we have digital assets. Good thing we have, you know, printing or video or photo. Like,
And we do that so much whenever it is slow in an area. We go like, if I don't have a ton of video work,
It's like
then
a flip of a switch.
then, okay, well then what else can I do? Can I be doing a course right now? Can I be studying? Can I be learning something? Or let's try to create something. Let me test. Let's play around with some green screen stuff. I mean, like we've done stuff like that when it's like, and then it came in really handy because then we had a project where I needed to do some green screen stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Luckily, we had played with it a little bit.
yeah. And able to even pitch those things to clients and say like, yo, I can do this.
Yeah.
This could elevate your brand. This could elevate, you know, this ad, or this could elevate, you know, just a shirt or whatever. And saying, yeah, it costs a little more. And like, you know, talking about like discharge printing, you know, like that's something that like any normal person most brands out there don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many, like, I feel like all the time, if I mention discharge to anyone, they're just like, I don't know. Yeah, it's a screen print. I don't understand anything. But being able to say like, hey, I invested some time for myself to learn how to do discharge printing on my own shirts.
Yep.
And this you're not even gonna feel it in the shirt. It's gonna be like super nice.
Awesome selling point.
Yeah.
Just across the board. Like I mean, of course, you know, a lot of our merchandise and a lot of stuff we sell is either water based or discharge printing. And the main reason for me is like I just wanted to learn it so bad.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking of every type of client. You know, like you're gonna have the construction worker that's like, yep, just give me that lovely thick plastisol.
Yeah, they
it's
don't
whatever.
care.
You know, I'm gonna throw these shirts through the ringer, so it just doesn't matter. Like, just make sure it stays on. And here's the thing: is they don't care whether it's discharge or water based or plastisol. They just don't. But then you have those clothing lines, and it's just like, man, I really care about every aspect. Just like, I'm gonna now, because I tested it on my own stuff, I can offer it to them.
Yeah.
But if you didn't ever take the time to learn that, then you would have missed out on those jobs, and we wouldn't be working with the brands that we're working with today.
No joke.
Because there's going to be brands out there that don't want plastisol ink. And if you're plastisol only, and not that there's a problem with niching down to something.
Yeah. No.
But But if we're talking about diversifying revenue, we're talking about adding in new weapons to your arsenal.
Yeah.
And you have to take the time to learn those things.
Yeah. And also like jumping back on like what Corey was saying, it's like, here's the cool thing about how, or like, because a lot of people can look at this like, well, you guys actually kind of do too much. You know, it's like.
We feel that sometimes.
We do. But at the same time, you know, it creates us being able to really build something that's going to last. Because it's like Corey, like last week, he was just like, dude, I've emailed all my design clients like twice now. And I like, he's just in a holding pattern. He's just waiting. And he's like, and then I look over there 5 minutes later and he's literally creating a brush pack or something like that. And it's just like, because we like, it's not like, hey, Corey, you should probably go design something. Like, he already knows. It's a flip of a switch. Yeah. And it's the same thing like with Jared. Like, it's like, hey, we're like, obviously we're doing our YouTube videos, our vlogs, and our tutorials and stuff like that. But it's just like, soon as, you know, we're just waiting for our clients to kind of get back with us, getting shoot dates down, this and this and this. And he's already on, he's like, hey, man, I'm just going to walk around the studio and film some vlog stuff. And I'm just like, because YouTube for us is another revenue stream that that we sat down as a business and as a team, and we said, we are throwing all the chips into this thing called YouTube. And a lot of people look at it and it's like, yeah, I don't know, like whatever. And I'm going to tell you, it's the second largest search engine. Yep. And it's far more than that. Yeah. It's far more than us just doing a vlog to teach someone. That's awesome. That's like the heart of us, is teaching people. When we learn something, we want to teach it. But man, the amount of business that comes in on our YouTube is just, it's huge. Like, I didn't think it could ever compound into like, oh yeah, like this vlog of us just talking about stupid stuff. Yeah. And then we put this little snippet in of e-commerce photos. Oh, this design, or this vector pack, or this print process. We put this one little thing, and that one person came across and saw it. And that's what they wanted from us. Yeah. We've talked about it. I don't know if we talked about it last episode, but like I was stoked to learn on how to print on nylon windbreakers. Yeah. And like, have to buy the Epic Hugger catalyst so that your ink doesn't fall off. And that was the thing, because like we had ink fell off on a windbreaker, and I wanted to dial that in. So we did a video on it, and that video is performing really well. And we're making money just off of ads, off of that video. But I've also gotten numerous jobs because people are like, yeah, no screen printer wants to print on windbreakers. And they hit us up. And I've printed on some windbreakers, and I've made really good money on windbreakers. And then
they're tough.
They are a pain. and it's,
which is why we haven't made another video on windbreakers.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's like, it's the truth. Like it's hard, but again, it's that drive of that challenge of like, hey, like I taught about it, I can do it. It also puts me in this stage of like, I'm making me feel confident in my craft, you know? But again, it's like, the reason why we put so much in YouTube is it's another stream of revenue. And it is, man, just, it's so cool that we've created this, that, you know, like I want to like go through the list. It's extremely long, and I'm just going to go through it, and I'm going to bounce it off you guys. So like, it's like, so if you're going to come to us as a client and you want to know what we can do for you, the top topics of what we can do is graphic design. We need a graphic to be able to put on a t-shirt. Mm-hmm. Corey can do that. I can print t-shirts. I can do water-based, discharge, plastisol. It opens up 3 different, you know, that's in itself is diverse. Yeah. Yep. I can do all those clients. We can take photos of your printed garment. We could actually do just photos of you or photos of a building or, you know, like a space. We do that for clients.
I said there's a lot of elements of photos there.
Yeah.
You have behind the scenes stuff of it being, the shirt being made. You have the product photos. You have lifestyle model shoots.
On location at your business photos.
Headshots. And
Corey's taking photos of buildings that some electrical companies that we work with is like, hey, it's fully done. Go take photos to show the before and after, or, you know, and then video. Like we can literally document every step of the way. And so those are our main, you know, services, to where when people's like, I always tell people now, like, because they're like, do you do designs? It's like, oh my gosh. Yes, we do designs. Wait, man, those photos on your feed looks really good. Yeah, we do photos. Like, man, that's a really cool video. Was that done with your iPhone? No, we have very expensive cameras, 3 of them actually. You know, it's like, no, we do all these services. But this is a cool ripple effect, is we do designs. We can do a logo package for you. We can do a t-shirt design for you. We could actually create vectors, that, you know, like vector elements that you can use, that you can buy on our website. We can actually design fonts. We can actually, you know, like the list goes on.
Yeah.
That's just one element. That's design. But we literally opened up 5 different streams of revenue. Printing, it's the same way. It's like, like I was saying earlier, it's like we can do all these different types of inks.
Even like showcasing different garments. I feel like it's like, whoa, wait, you guys, well, like what we were talking about, windbreakers. You can print on windbreakers.
Exactly.
I didn't even know that was possible.
Yeah. Oh, you print on sweatpants, right? Oh, hey, you do tote bags. We really need some tote bags. Like, yep. Like, you know, and if you're not like the tote bags is kind of a funny one, because it was like that was one where Jonathan gave away some free tote bags to like a band, and was like, hey, we had these, we just bought these to check them out to see how they were. We're gonna print on them for you, and they were like, yep, next run, let's do 100 tote bags or something.
Yep. And then, you know, like, now let's go to the photo area, to where it's just like, okay, yes, we're gonna document in photos of like literally me burning your screen, us printing out the transparency, you know, like we've done every step, we've done the whole, you know, every step. And then it's like, man, like people that print our shirts with us, I think I'm gonna say this, a big reason why they print shirts with us is because they know they're gonna get a few photos, because we're gonna utilize those photos for our social media. And like, I don't know how many times people like, hey man, quick turnaround. Let's get these, like, I need these shirts this day. And I'm like racing around to get them done. And then I get them done, put in the box, shipped out, and we don't even have time. Like Corey's like maybe on a shoot somewhere, or he's not here. And then they send me that text. Hey, got the shirts. Do you have any photos? I'm like, no, man. Like, and so it's cool because it's created a demand, or like they just kind of expect that. Yeah. But they don't always expect free stuff. They're just curious, like, hey, were you able to get that for you guys? Yeah. And then because of that, we've had people that's like, hey, I'm gonna like, can I get some like in like behind the scenes shots and then like, yeah, you can for this price. And they're like, yep, sign me up. Yeah. It's like, boom. Like we got more income coming off of photos. And it's like, sweet, behind the scenes. Then like Corey was saying, it's like e-commerce, lifestyle. How many times has Christian with Checks and Stripes, literally a brand we work with, like his flown out from California, is like, hey, just me and my wife are vacationing in Indiana. It's like, hey, can I just stop by the studio and like, try on some of this stuff and like get, you know, model photos.
He wanted photos with him in the stuff, and he just happened to be, you know,
just happened to be next door.
I was just down the street, so
and like, man, and then obviously like video. It's like we do YouTube videos so that one, we can teach people. So we're giving off value. We're making money off ads. Off of those videos,
a little bit.
It's more than
nothing.
It's growing every day. we're getting video business off of videos that we've posted on Instagram or YouTube and Instagram. They're like, wow, you guys can do that? Like, or man, the quality's top notch. Yeah, I want you to do stuff for my business. Like, and then it's just
sponsored videos that, pulling in revenue that way.
Yep. We've got a lovely sponsor, on our channel, and it's crazy. I mean, just talking about it, it's like, man, we really do. We do a lot, but I want to just make known that every one of these services that we do is absolutely 100% what we love to do, and we're going to continue to do it. We are no longer a screen printing company. We're just not.
Not
like exclusively.
Not exclusively.
Exclusively.
Yeah.
And some people just don't like, oh, so you guys, do you think you're spreading yourself too thin? Yeah, maybe. But here's the thing. We love all those different aspects. So we're going to continue to do them, and we're going to continue to go after and learn those, get better at those services so that we can continue to offer those.
The biggest thing with that, though, is I think that we know what our end goal is.
Yes.
We have the vision of this is where we want to be. And I think that's, to sum a lot of this up, I think the main way to answer your question of how to not go out of business is like, we answered it with like, okay, so diversify income streams, create some different opportunities for you to make money. Yeah. Don't back yourself into one corner. And the big thing with what we're doing and the way that we've created all these separate revenue streams and options for us to be able to bring money in is we understand where we're going.
Yeah. Did we not say it?
I knew it was going to happen
every time.
Every single time. And so the big thing is that we know where we're heading. We know where we're trying to go. And in the same way as you post the work that you want to do, you post more of that kind of stuff, you put that work out there, you create the things that you want to do more of, you have to know where you want to go to do that. And so if your desire is to do water-based and discharge, but you're only doing plastisol and you only have plastisol jobs coming in, then you have to figure out a way to push yourself into that next spot, but you have to know where you want to go first.
Yep.
So develop that plan, develop that idea, however you want to do it. You need to make a bulletin board, with like goals on it. You need to write down, you want to do a digital list, make some goals, put some stuff down, write it down and say, this is the plan. This is what I want to do more of. This is where I'm headed. And then start creating those things, create opportunities, set aside time to make that happen.
Yep. Yeah, and it's cool. Like I mentioned on last podcast, like we have a new business and venture that's going to be happening 2022. And I'm really excited about it, and I'm not going to say it. However, guess what? It's another revenue stream that literally is perfect for all the things that we already do. Yeah. And so as we add those new services and those new business endeavors, it's setting up. It's just going to continue to set us up for our future to, again, take care of our families and be able to just do a better job too. Like for people that are looking for, man, I need a company that can do this. Yep. We can do it all.
Yeah. Yeah. I think to sum it all up is like, have a clear goal of what you're doing.
Yep.
Be willing to take risks, be willing to fail at times.
Yeah.
And learn, and then diversify what you're doing, man. Yeah. You don't just stick to one thing, but have branch out into different realms, and I think that's one of the best ways that that's how we do it.
Yep.
That's how we stay in business. That's how we continue to survive. And
And one thing I'd like to add to that is experiment. See what you like.
Try stuff.
Because I've done some stuff where I was like, oh, I wonder if I would ever like to do that. And then I did it and I hated it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'll never do a lyric video again.
Oh, dang. Guess I'm going to have to email a few guys. No. And lastly, I want to say is don't try to do what we're doing.
Yeah. Don't just try to
don't try to imitate us. Like you're your own company, your own brand. Like like
Not just us, but anybody.
Yeah, exactly. Like, do you, boo?
Unless
as
your
Josh
stuff,
used to say.
unless it like makes perfect sense to do.
Yeah, if it fits, if you have the same skill sets, like what works for us is because of the skill sets that we each individually bring to the table.
Yeah.
And if you have a team that does that, then like get after it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. So we are going to answer some questions. Got some listener questions. We're lightning round, guys. Seriously. Quick.
Rapid, blazing fire.
Yeah, so we're going to answer some of
Blazing.
going to answer some of these. There, there's some interesting ones and some good ones, but I think there's 4. We're going to go super quick. So I believe this one was Screen Kings. They asked the importance of curing your inks for new printers. I'm going to go super fast.
Right.
Very important, guys. My first order that I ever did.
The very first.
200 shirts, super white, opaque.
Excuse me.
White, opaque, massive logo on the front and on the back of navy blue shirts.
Okay.
I don't think I cured any of those properly.
Like just at all?
Like, I think probably, like, I know my belt speed was a little faster than what it needed to be. However, he's a good buddy of mine, and he owns a landscaping business. And the funny thing is he's like, "Oh man, you're starting a print shop? Yeah, man. I want to support you. I want to help you out. I'll throw my first order with you." I still have a photo to this day. It's $1,000 I made off my first job, and it totally floored me and inspired me. Like, yep, I'm gonna do this. But guess what? I know for a fact those shirts weren't 100% properly cured, and I didn't know that. It was a noob mistake. I learned through another buddy.
So he never even told you?
He never even told me. He was
What a friend.
a good friend. But it's funny, through the grapevine, another buddy, I heard that he's like, "Yeah, I showed up on a job site and like some of the design was like kind of flaking off." I'm like, "Oh, he's so cool." But again, at the same time, I'm glad that my other buddy told me. So I was like, "Yeah,
So
I need to
fix it."
Do stretch tests, do a little scrape test, like.
And if you gotta do a wash test if you have to.
Yeah, for sure. Just definitely check your inks, and there's, especially if you're just curing shirts with a heat gun or a flash dryer or a heat press, like, yeah, definitely just check your inks. Huge, could create a lot of problems.
Yeah, if that guy wasn't a good buddy, you could have really been screwed.
Yeah, if that was
out a chunk of money and time.
That $1,000 that you made could have
Give it back.
given it back.
slide it right back.
So good question. Very good question. Next question is, and this one's going to Jared, is cereal soup?
Depends. We have to define soup, because I define soup as brothy, and I don't think milk is broth.
Yeah. I mean, Vsauce, if you're familiar with him, he did a whole video on this. So if you're really concerned, he'll give you a real answer. It's the same idea. Is it soup? Is the milk the dressing?
Okay, so you're saying cereal might be salad.
Yeah, or something that you would put sauce on. And if the same thing is spaghetti soup,
How deep? How
yeah.
aggressive
Sometimes spaghetti can almost be soup depending on who makes it.
I don't prefer that spaghetti.
Yeah, you don't want. And then is chili? Now we're talking about chili and
No,
soup.
that's chili.
Yeah,
That's its own thing.
That's even. I think chili's closer to soup than.
I will agree with you, because
Then
there's
cereal.
some people's chili that I'm like, it's a little soupy.
Yeah. And I would.
Not my favorite.
For me, I'm really considering soup as a warm object. Maybe people in Europe eat cold soup, but not here.
Yeah.
Do they?
Is
that a thing?
I don't know. I like cold pea soup. I feel like that might be a European thing.
Sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Enough on that question.
So there you go.
I hope you got your answer.
Watch Vsauce.
Watch Vsauce. He's smarter than us.
Next question. What is the hardest print for you guys?
All of them. I don't print. I don't know how.
Yeah. Jared doesn't. Thinks they're all extremely hard. So hardest print, I'm just going to take that question as like discharge printing. I'm just going to do it as a whole compared to like, ooh, this design was hard.
Yeah.
Just print, like discharge printing in general. They're like, I'll just be 100% transparent, is every single time I do discharge printing, I'm always figuring out a new problem. Like it just, whether, you know, whether that like coating my screens, whether I didn't let those screens, like I let those just dry in the rack compared to my drying cabinet, just all these different things, like where I even like put my registration marks. Like I've been having Corey like put the registration marks high, like further away from the design, because if you're, you know, pushing the squeegee, it's like, oh, it's pushing ink through the registration marks underneath the tape, getting on the back end of the, you know, and then that area touches the shirt, and then you won't know if it's a mistake unless it's already through the other end of the conveyor dryer. Like,
and you can't really, like, sometimes plastisol and stuff, you can kind of redeem it and like use some stuff to get the stuff out. Like discharge.
Nope.
No,
like,
done.
I've butchered, you know, 5-10 shirts at a time.
And if they're paying for discharge, it's more than likely going to be a
nicer shirt.
Yeah.
So we're not talking like, we're not even talking Gildan's or even Bella Canvas. We're talking like AS Color.
Yeah. Yep. And so you're like, ooh, ouch. So yeah, just discharge. But again, I'll tell you, I love the after effect of it, to where it's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna do with it, and I'm gonna learn, and hopefully I can really dial that in, especially in the future with an auto and stuff like that. Because again, I don't want to mess like
on an auto.
It's like, oh, sweet, I can print 300-400 shirts an hour. It's just like,
they were all wrong.
I got through, you know, whatever 10 plus shirts. It's like, ooh, wow, okay. But yeah, so discharge printing, it's hardest, but it's also the one area to where like I like the challenge of that.
Yeah.
So then last question, boom, lightning round. That was super quick. Who is someone that inspired early on in your printing, design, and filming pursuits? Jared, anybody?
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of people.
Name a few.
James Cameron. Michael Bay.
Not Michael Bay. There's a lot of people that I've followed over the years for filmmaking. It's hard to say like one person specifically, but I mean, like some of the bigger guys that I've just followed for a lot of years would be like Casey Neistat's one of the guys that I was just like, this dude's doing filmmaking so differently than other people are. He didn't go the traditional route, which is, I always hated the idea of like, I looked at film school for a little while. Mm-hmm. It's outrageously expensive. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I can't afford that. I just physically cannot. Yeah. And so I was like, I guess I won't do that. And then like to see that he had no formal training, it was just like, I mean, the guy's got like 3 billion plays on YouTube. Yeah. You know, I mean, he's got a massive audience. I mean, I don't know if does Michael Bay have 3 billion views on his movies? You know, like maybe, but
probably.
But I'm just saying, there's some of those that like, I mean, it's outrageous that to have a body of work like that. And so I really look up to that. I think that guy's got, he's got some really cool like work ethic and stuff. And Peter McKinnon's another dude,
killing it.
Jesse Driftwood. Oh yeah. There's another guy I follow up in. Why are all these guys in Canada? But this guy named Levi, Levi Allen, is a dope dude out in British Columbia. Yeah. And the way that he makes videos is so good. He's really mastered, like, in my opinion, he's really mastered capturing emotion through like music and video together. Like, he does a really good job of hanging on shots just long enough. It really, like, it builds tension, creates like the right amount of like, oh, like I wanted a little bit more of that. Oh, or like just the right, I don't know how to explain it. Like but yeah, those are some guys that I really look up to, that I really, I've admired their stuff for a lot of years and been like, and the funny thing is in the beginning, you really just bite a lot of their style and, you know, their tricks and techniques and stuff, and you steal a lot of those kind of things, and you just end up being a carbon copy for a little while. Unfortunately, that's part of the process, and then you start to develop your own things. It was cool for me, and it happened like, I don't know, probably 10 years into me making videos, where somebody said, "Oh, that was a Jared video." Like I could tell.
Yeah.
Like I could tell
Was I the one that said it?
No, actually.
Oh, really? I feel like I say those things all the time.
No, it was a different Corey. But it was like, I knew you shot this before I even saw that you shot it. I just knew it was one of your videos, because I know your style and your, like, the way that you shoot things. And and Corey has some things that he likes to say that the Jared push-in.
The classic Jared push-in.
But there's some things that I like to do, and the way that I like to get certain shots, and you can see those stylistic choices pop up here and there and stuff. And so, like, that, as far as video stuff, those are some of the guys I think that inspired me to do it.
Yeah. Say for me, I mean, screen printing and design, my friend Albert Sanchez was the first person I saw screen print, and he was the first person I saw like open Adobe Illustrator and do designs in it. And like, it made it seem like, one day he was like, "Yo, dude, you want to design a t-shirt with me?" And I was like, "Sure." And I like sat down next to him on the computer, and he's like, "All right, let's find some elements." And he like literally just like found some like digital assets, like some vector pack stuff, and like slapped this there and moved this around. And like, I remember when he like clicked on the design and showed the anchor points, I was like, "Oh no." I was like, "This is the scariest thing I've ever seen." There's like thousands of anchor points. I was like, "How do you know what to do?" And he's just like clicking and messing with things. And then I remember I was like, he had like a little press in his house, and went and like watched him do stuff. And I was just like amazed by it. And really, like, from that point on, I was like, I think I want to like learn more about designing. I think I want to like learn more about, like, really for the longest time, I was like, my dream, like a job that I think I'd actually like would be a screen printing shop. And I was like, I wonder if there's any shops out there that would just let me like come in and like do random stuff for them and just be a part of it. And I just like, there was none that I could find for the longest time until, I mean, you guys heard in our last story, or our last podcast of how I got connected with Jonathan and stuff. But yeah, so he was the one that really like opened my eyes and inspired me to do that stuff. And then design and that stuff, there's a handful of people. Will Patterson on YouTube was a big influence in me, like learning hand lettering and typography. He was doing that style. I had kind of liked that style already, and it seemed really obtainable for me, because I was like, all right, I'm not drawing the human face. Like, that seems like really challenging, but I've written the letter A before. And so this guy's like just drawing it in a cooler way. So like, I think I could do that, and you know, slowly learned that stuff. And so yeah, Will Patterson, Albert Sanchez, there's a couple other like designers out there. Check out Hand to God Studio. He's out in Indonesia. It's Ukta.
Nice.
I don't know how to say his last name for sure, but he's really rad. He's got amazing designs, and so he's someone that always inspires me.
Nice. So I had to think about this one. Who's early on inspired me? The quick and simple is just like, I wanted to like do this venture of screen printing, and I was just like, man, is it kind of like an insult to like hit up a shop and be like, "Hey, can you teach me everything you know?" Back 5 years ago, it's like, "Hey, can you teach me?" And I actually had my younger brother, his best friend, good old Tony Perez, out in Texas. He's like, I hit him up. I was like, "Hey man, I'm going to come out and see my brother. Like, can you just show me like just a few of the steps, And he was like, "Yeah, dude, come on out." And we had a blast, and he just taught me some basics. I mean, so he definitely helped inspire me just to do this thing. And now it's really cool to look back to where like he's still just killing it in his one-car garage. And actually, I don't think he prints anymore. I think he just skateboards all the time. Corey's like, "Yes, please be my future." But it's funny how like that's his niche. That's what he wanted to do. And it's so cool that he's just, yep, this is where I'm at. And now it's like crazy to where it's like, I got 2 employees, had 3 employees at one point, and now I'm a second location going auto. Yeah. It's just crazy how like my dream or my vision versus his vision, and we're just staying true, and it's cool. Like I'm set up to do what we're doing, you know, and he's like, yep, I just want to hang my hat here. Yeah. It's awesome. So,
and the reality is both of those techniques, both of those viewpoints, both those things are working.
Yep.
They're both like, he's staying in business, we're staying in business. And like, kind of like the overarching thing that we've been talking about this whole episode is like, yeah, you know, find what you do,
find your niche,
like get a clear vision, and then just keep running after it, man.
Yep. Yeah. Lightning round. That was probably our fastest lightning round.
Yeah. Not bad for your age.
We've only had 2, right? And the other one was super long.
It was. It was a lot longer.
Product highlight. That's a new thing we want to do.
Yeah.
So
sponsored segment. That's what we're calling
sponsored segment of this episode is
brought to you by
Corey. Brought to you by.
Yeah.
Say brought to you by.
Oh, brought to you by
Golden Press Studio.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Woo! No, yeah. So we were just thinking of, you know, things we want to highlight in our episodes, and one thing that you might not know, this might be their first time listening, first time hearing anything about us, and we spend a lot of time on creating digital assets, brushes, vector packs, fonts, you name it, to help the designer, screen printer, you know, just make it a little easier on you. And so we have
some products.
We have a lot.
So if you want one, go get one.
Yeah. Go to goldenpressstudio.com and you can go over, pick up a digital asset. We have some free stuff for you can check out. We have some paid stuff, some affordable stuff, some top tier. It really, our highest price is like $25. It's really not that expensive. And you know, everything's designed in a way that is going to really benefit you as a designer, and it's going to be something that you can use for years to come in multiple different designs, and they're quite versatile. Yep. And so check it out. Not screenprinting.com. Well, there's some stuff on screenprinting.com.
Check those out too.
You can check those out, but goldenpressstudio.com, that's where you can find our digital assets. You know, there's little columns and stuff you can, you know, that are broken into sections. So check it out. We'd love your support. And
yeah, it really makes this kind of stuff possible.
Yeah.
So, you know, being able to have you guys help us out in that way and support us through digital assets and stuff, it makes us, you know, be able to put time into creating these episodes and give us the ideas to do like the Golden Boys Initiative in the first place and all that stuff. So we appreciate you guys. Thanks for always having our backs.
Yeah. I always, you know, it's funny, like, now that we're in it and we're doing this stuff and we know all the amount of time that we're working on stuff behind the scenes, then like I just remember before we did YouTube, I'm like, hey, if you could, you know, go download this preset on like a photo video photographer. It's just like, okay, man, I get it. You're trying to just plug your stuff. It's just like, no, like my eyes are open, you know, the scales have fallen off my eyes. Like, no, like, go buy something from someone that you're learning stuff from. It really makes a world of difference. Yeah. It really does.
Yeah.
So thank you guys.
Yeah, it's funny. My dad watches all of our YouTube videos.
And does he?
He doesn't have a freaking clue about screen print. He doesn't know what the crap any of the stuff we're talking about. But he tells me all the time. He goes, "Yeah, I sit through all the ads too."
Thanks.
Just so you know.
Thanks, Dad.
He's like, I want you to know that I'm sitting through all the ads. I'm like, my man.
That's awesome.
I appreciate you, Pop.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently he's watching our podcast too.
Well, hello. Like Papa Day.
Yeah. We just call him Pops.
Okay.
That's what he goes by, just Pops.
Pops. I call my dad Papa Dot. Straight ripoff from 8 Mile.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen that. Papa Dot. What do you name your dad?
What do I name him?
Or what do you call him?
I just call him Dad.
Oh.
Pretty standard.
Keep it classic.
Classic.
Standard. Yeah. Right on.
You sounded just like Corey.
That's what I was. That was the joke.
That's the joke. I repeat, that is the joke.
Awesome. Hey guys, that's it.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Yeah. Hey, this says outro, so let's do the outro.
All right, I think we just did it.
See you later.
See you there. See you in the air. Arf.
See ya.
Bye.